As part of my Glock 42 testing and evaluation process, I've been trying out different ammunition when I see it. Admittedly, a lot of my local shops are stocking American Eagle, so Federal, or the Fiocchi, like FMJs. For hollow points, I've tested out the Hornady XTP, which is what I carry with it. I specifically chose that load because it actually has better penetration than a lot of other 380 loads. And 380s around that I am concerned about penetration not being enough. Now, this is not one that I would necessarily carry, but I saw it and I wanted to try it out. I have this, it's a Fiocchi, like 90 grain hollow point. I think they call it like Defense Dynamics Home Defense. Some stupid name that sounds like a parody from like a RoboCop commercial or something, right? I'm going to see how well it shoots here. You know, I'm not doing like patterning to see how accurate it is, more so is it reliable in the gun. I'm at 5 yards, we'll move up to 3 yards and then closer in a second here. I currently have one of my 7-round magazines in the gun. So we're just gonna draw here and see how reliable this stuff is here. So 2 hands on the gun is totally fine. 1 hand on the gun is totally fine. And I've got 2 more rounds in the magazine here. We'll shoot weak hand only. Okay, I will say recoil-wise, it does feel a hair more stout than the FMJ I shoot or the Hornady XTP, but still incredibly manageable. With this being a lock breech 380, the recoil is really very soft. For my background with 380s, I'm very much used to shooting stuff like Walther PPKs, which you think a big steel gun would be comfortable, but the blowback design just isn't. So we know this gun's working fine with an extended magazine when we've got this ammo. We know it's working 2 hands on the gun, 1 hand on the gun. What I'm going to do here is change the angle at which we're shooting here. So I've got my 8-round magazine here. I've got it pointed like this. We're going to cant it down. So still shooting with the ejection port down. We're going to go other way around, kind of gangster style. The reason why we're doing this is that with the extractor the way it is, this should hypothetically be the hardest way that the gun has to extract. And it's still tracking fine. We're going to go upside down here. A little weird. I'm going to come in here and shoot from retention. So obviously when I'm shooting from retention, I'm looking at the target, but I'm going to kind of turn to look at the gun. Hopefully the camera can catch more of it. So my left hand's going to go up and behind my head. We're going to cant this down. And we even locked open on empty there. I'm going to yank that magazine out, switch hands here. So I have 1 more magazine, and this is my only 6-round magazine. Now all my magazines are OEM ones. Ooh, we had a little bit of a nosedive when I tried to chamber using the slide release there. So these rounds might not like feeding the best if you're not having the extra force of slingshotting the gun here. We're going to come in and shoot from retention again. This time, instead of it being canted down like how I had it before, I'm going to do my regular retention shooting. And locked open and on empty. So yeah, no, it's funny. That's not an ammo I would necessarily recommend carrying. I haven't seen ballistics testing on it, so I wouldn't do that. And truthfully, I'm not the happiest with how Fiocchi shoots in a lot of my guns. However, it was 100% reliable there. Aside from that failure to go in a battery when using the slide release to chamber the gun, I have noticed that with how small these magazines are, just in my dry fire, with snap caps, sometimes the gun doesn't like using the slide release. So that's maybe a thing to touch on in the review, but I've noticed that among, not the Hornady XTP, but I have noticed it with one of the FMJs I shoot plus that. So slingshotting the gun's probably going to be the best way to shoot this gun. Admittedly, with how tiny it is, I've had so much slide override that I'm slingshotting it anyway because I'm inserting an empty magazine on a forward chamber or a forward slide. So yeah, the Fiocchi, whatever, it'll be in the title so you know what it is. The Fiocchi whiz-bang SUX 6000 shot fine. So thanks for watching.